Hello and welcome back to my channel. So first of all, I want to apologize for not posting a video in like 2 weeks because it's been getting close to my exam time and I'm super busy. My exams start on June 7th, which is next week, and I really didn't have any time to make videos because I was so busy finishing up my projects and like studying and all that stuff. But this video is sort of related to that because this video is going to be about how I study for my final exams, which as I said are next week. And so I'll just show you guys how I've been planning for my exams since like 6 weeks ago. I started planning 6 weeks ago and how I study for it and all that stuff. So I hope you guys will find this helpful, and let's get started. So first of all, 6 weeks prior to this, I started making out a study plan, and as you can see here in my bullet journal, I have this little area with washi tape, and that's just my exam studying planning thing. So I just have washi tape here so I can access it really easily. So for each subject, I made a spread of the syllabus and also a chart so I could tick off what parts I've studied and what parts I have to study next. For example, for Chinese, I have 6 passages I have to know, and for each of the passages I have like a book that teaches me that passage, and I have my notes. I have these different types of study material I could study from, and so every time I study one of them I'll just tick it off, and that's my chart for this. And then over here it's a little bit different because it's a chart separated by the weekly, and so because Chinese is a language obviously, and so to improve a language you need to do like all sorts of stuff, like learn new vocabulary and learn I don't know, grammar and stuff. And so this is what is here horizontally. I have like Chinese examples, Chinese like classical Chinese vocabs and all this stuff. And so every week I want to touch on each of these topics. So each week I'll just tick which things I did, and so this is my progress for the last 7 weeks. And it's the same concept for LS and math. I just have my chapters here and then my different study materials so that every time I finish one I can tick it off. Same here for chemistry, and I also have a page for common mistakes because I feel like it's really easy to make mistakes in chemistry, so I have a page here to record down all of my mistakes I make throughout my studying sessions so I can make sure not to make them in the exam. And it's the same for history and English, which I haven't really studied yet, as you can see. So like that is my study plan. And after that I also have this page called Focus of the Week, and for each week I will write down 1 or 2 things that I want to focus on that week. So for week 2 it was like review my old chemistry stuff and do some old math questions. And then for last week it was reread the book for my English class and all this stuff. So every week I have a focus thing to do, and aside from writing it down here, I also write it down in my weekly spread. For example, this week, you can see I have a little square here that says focus, and I will write down what topics I want to focus on this week down here. So I have it with me all the time so I know what to study each week. So after I plan in my bullet journal, I will actually transfer that study plan into a calendar format, which I hung up right on my wall here above my desk. And this is my study plan for May. So I basically printed out a calendar for May, and then for each day I will write down some things I want to study for each subject. So I color coordinated it, so like blue is Chinese, red is math, pink is history, and so on. And so every day I will kind of plan out what I want to do every day so that I can touch on each subject each day. This is not a really strict plan, like I try to follow it, but if I'm too busy with homework or projects and I don't have time to finish all the stuff on the list, like it doesn't really matter. And it's just like a more detailed format of the studying syllabus thing I made early on over there.
And before I also made a video on how to make an exam study plan, so if you want to check that out, then you could also look into the description and watch that video.
Okay, so after I planned out my syllabus and my study plan, and I planned out my focus of the week, then I will start doing all my homework and projects to get them out of the way. So around 6 weeks ago, when I started making all this stuff, I also started working hard on my projects and my SBAs because I knew that I had to finish them in order to start studying. So I just started finishing them really quickly. So these are the 2 major projects I have to finish this term, and so ages ago I just started working on them and finishing them so that now, these few weeks when the exams are right around the corner, I have time to focus on studying. and not on my homework. The other thing I have over here is my study tracker, and I only started doing this term, and so I will track down how many hours I studied for each day of the month. So this is for May, this is for June, and over here I have the days of the month, and over here are the hours, so half an hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, and so on. For each day, I will track my study hours using this app called SaveMyTime. Let me just show you. So I showed this app in a previous video, and it basically helps you track your time every time you open your phone, just like you saw. And for example, today, you can see that I studied for 5 hours and 22 minutes. And so every day I will just track my time using this app, and then at the end of the day I will go and see how many hours I studied, and then I will mark it down in my study tracker here in my bullet journal. And I also have different colors when I line up the graph, and the colors just coordinate to this little key over here. So pink means that I had a really good productive day, blue means that I didn't do much work but I had like fun and relaxed, and green was just a mediocre day, and then brown is when I had a sucky day with zero productivity. And so I just try to track my productivity levels in contrast to my study hours to see how I feel each day, and then I don't know. And after I have all those things set up, I am ready to go and study, and I will just study according to my study plan, and that's how I study for my final exams. And just one last tip, sometimes there is some important information for a test that's very hard to memorize and you need to spend a lot of time on it. And for me, this was my organic chemistry reactions table. Well, this wasn't that hard, but like I wanted to memorize them on the go instead of spending time at home studying it. So I just wrote out the organic synthesis table and I stuck it in my bullet journal so I can have it on the go with me and I can study it whenever I want to. So just another tip is if you have some important or hard information you want to look at when you're bored, when you're outside, then you can just put it in your bullet journal or put it in your phone or something so you can have it with you on the go. And that's another really useful tip I use for studying for final exams. And that is all for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful and that you can also try out some of these tips for your final exams. And as I said before, my exams are next week, so for the next 2 to 3 weeks I won't be posting any videos, which I'm sorry about, but I have to do all of this stuff and study for hours a day, so I really don't have time to make any videos. But thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel and supporting me and all that stuff. So yeah, that's it, and bye bye.